Hello everyone. For this tutorial video, I like to talk about how heat energy relates to phase changes, including an explanation of why energy is required to melt a solid or turn a liquid into a gas. We know in particular that in a solid, the cohesive bonds between all the molecules is stronger than in something like a liquid or a gas. So this means it has more energy to it. So there's more energy required to melt a solid than to vaporize a liquid. And because all of the energy is going into breaking the bonds, there is no energy left over for making the molecules move. So for that reason, the energy required to change a phase is called latent heat, as a reference to how when a solid melts, you do not physically feel an increase in temperature at the point in question when it melts, which you may have experience with if you ever had ice cubes melt in your hand before. So it is called latent heat because it is hidden heat, in that you don't notice an obvious temperature difference, because the heat energy is doing work in changing the phase, and there's no heat energy left over for an increase in temperature. So this means the temperature will never increase until after the phase has completed the change, and if the phase is in the intermediate steps of change, there can be no temperature increase. We can get a formula for the heat required to change the phase of a mass by stating Q equals mass times L lowercase f for melting or freezing, and L lowercase v for vaporization or condensation. And it should be obvious that because different substances have different bonds, both the strength of the individual bonds and the number of bonds overall, that the latent heat of melting or vaporization is determined by trial and error, and there's no convenient way to predict it ahead of time. Exactly like the problem with specific heat capacity. Fortunately for us, there are tables giving the information that people figured out already for the latent heat, just like there are tables giving specific heat capacities and tables giving coefficients of friction. Now that I have explained how heat transfer works when a substance changes phases, I can go in depth about the three types of heat transfer, which are conduction, circulation aka convection, and radiation. Don't forget to subscribe if you found this video informative, and make sure to see other tutorial videos, and follow me on either Facebook or Twitter for more content.